We respectfully request the Sangha great virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tặng thịnh, vì thứ pháp hội gâm nhớ thiết chúng sanh, thính chuyên diệu pháp luân giao đạo ngã môn, như há liêu sanh thoáng tư, lý khổ đạt lạc, tất chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Namo Sadanto Suchedo Ye Ola Hudi San Miao San Puto Xie. Namo Dak Dak Tha Toya Daya Alahade Tam Miao Tam Po Da Toa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I am able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu shang sheng sheng wei miao fa ba he qian wan jian an zao yu o jin jie wen de shou qi yuan jie ru lai zhen shi. O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Sutra, Great Master YongHua, all good monks and nuns, and all good known advisors of Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨、智者大士、师父上人、各位出家人、各位善知识、弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa trí giả đại sư, thượng tiến hóa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện tri thức A Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone, today is the 23rd day of November 2024. We are here at Go Force to continue discussing the Vimalakirti Sutra. We are on slide 161, the section where it describes the 32,000 bodhisattvas in attendance when the Buddha spoke this sutra. And so we near the end of the description of the state of these bodhisattvas. Let's jump right into it. They were not far from a Buddha's unparalleled wisdom of self-mastery, 10 powers, fearlessness, and 18 unshared dharmas.
净无等等佛自在慧实力无畏18不共。
Okay, 162. Commentary, not far from the Buddhas. This is what Buddhism is about. We have a standard that the Buddha set. He said the Buddha has his state and his capabilities. So every single one of his disciples need to measure up to it. So you see in Buddhism there are gradations, there are clear standards. It's not wishful thinking. It's not you feel good about it. It's actually very, very graduated measurements, if you will. Okay, they're not far from Buddhas. What does it tell you? These 32,000 bodhisattvas. Can you imagine 32,000 people listening to you? The kind of pressure you're under. I have like 10 here today. After Sundays, I'm so tired. I tell you, it's like you really so exhausting. Okay, so the Buddha, in order to speak Dharma to 32,000 bodhisattvas, think about the sheer size of the number of the people. You look at 30,000, you freeze, won't you? I mean, you have stage fright, that's for sure. Okay? How often do you address 32,000? Unless you are Elon. Okay? Anyway, and I'm told, for example, recently, that Jensen Huang, my new idol, Altman, Sam Altman is number 2, but number 1 is Jensen to me. Okay, I'm always looking for new idols. You can call it masters idols. Can you imagine? I was reminded that Jensen Huang, the CEO and chairman of the most valuable company of the world, how many employees does he have? Take a guess. Those of you who told me that number, refrain from contributing. What is the size of his employees? The most valuable company in the world. Take a number. Take a guess, sir. He knows already. It's no fun. And they're cheating. 30,000 only. So you can tell the Buddha's company is even more valuable than Jensen Huang's company. Okay, just joking. So 32,000 bodhisattvas. They're not far from Buddhas, meaning that those measures in terms of your abilities, your contribution, your capabilities, okay, are very close to the Buddha. Meaning what? They are mahasattvas. They're next in line, if you will. They're not that far. They're this close. It's only take another few trillion years. That's how long it takes. When they're that close, it still takes about a few trillion years. Okay? And that's what they call not that far. Okay? So it tells you the kinds of privileged company, all these people, they gathered there. And 32,000 mahasattvas who are so close to Buddhahood already were in attendance. Can you imagine the kind of awe and power that you'd have? And if your manic ghost, you brought your manic ghost with you, your manic ghost would be so frightened, he would not dare misbehave at all. Okay? Anyway, and the Buddhas have the special abilities, okay? He's unparalleled, meaning only Buddhas can be comparable. Anyone else would be not even in the vicinity, okay? That's how difficult it is. The wisdom of self-mastery, and according to Master Chucha here, the unparalleled, so it's the supreme wisdom where you extinguish all ignorance, okay? And that's how you have self-mastery. Okay? Self-mastery refers to the complete absence of fear. of any outside influence on you. People criticize you, you say, uh-huh. People praise you, uh-huh. Okay, so that's why that's called self-mastery. No matter what happens, whether people praise you or slander you, you're unperturbed. You are totally unafflicted. Okay, and so that's what self-mastery about. So if you will, you should look. You learn this and you say, look at ourselves. Is how much self-mastery do I have? And that you can gauge your level of wisdom and power. See? Okay. The Buddha not only does he have unparalleled self-mastery, okay, and it's funny they call it wisdom. Yeah, life is hard. Yeah. Okay, so this wisdom here, this Buddha's wisdom, unparalleled wisdom, manifests itself. Okay, your wisdom manifests itself in the form of self-mastery. No one can have any effect on you. Okay? Don't laugh at her. You're going to be suffering very soon as well yourself, the next few years. Daniel, you used to be so tame. From now on, go forth to be known as a torturous chamber. There you go. I see. Now, is she like this at home? I can't help but wonder. Sorry, so much suffering. You may be laughing about it, but these manifestations are from inside, So it's a good relief, to let go, to let it out, okay? And it toughens the kids. You see? See what I mean? See, sometimes you have to intervene, okay, for the sake of the peace of the world. Daniel, you're so lame. Don't feel bad. Daniel used to scream like this for a few years. You have quite a ways to go to impress us. Okay, 10 powers. The Buddha are known to have 10 powers. Okay, and these are the special spiritual powers that makes the Buddha so unique, so invincible, you will. Okay, and it's too long a list. For example, he knows something. Number one, right off the bat. Number one is that he knows that it cannot be. It's impossible to contradict what? The law of cause and effect. What is it talking about? How does it affect us? It says that law of cause and effect says that it's not possible for you to get a good result from a bad seed. You do something bad, you cannot possibly end up well at all. So you want good things, you have to do good results, you have to do good things. You plant good seeds. And conversely speaking, if you plant bad seeds, for sure you will suffer. No two ways about it. And that cannot be contradicted. It's true everywhere, all times. Kind of relaxes you, doesn't it? That if Buddha sees it, it is true, then if you want to be happy, what do? Don't do anything naughty. Don't do anything bad. Then you'll be happy. The reason you're unhappy is because you, in the past, planted bad seeds, committed offenses. Isn't that cool? You're not impressed. I'm so impressed. I went to business school. I learned from many great men, and no one ever taught me that. And amazingly, this is the number one power. The first power that comes to mind from the Buddha is something that applies to all of us, everywhere. And that's supreme wisdom. Think about it. Isn't it interesting? That's why if you want your kids to be happy, what do? You teach them to do good things, period. And if bad things happen to them, don't worry. It's from a prior cause, from prior bad seeds. That's all. You believe. Buddha says, believe me. You want good things to happen to your kids, you better help them, encourage them, teach them to do good things. They guaranteed to get good results from that. And if they're suffering right now, okay, it's because of bad seeds in the past. No two ways about it. That is supreme wisdom, folks. And there's 9 more types of powers. Okay, you can go through it. There's a list here in Chinese. Yeah. All right? Yes, ma'am. Miss Hard Rock? It's hard to see her name. Number 2. Dos.
Dạ thầy, hồi nhỏ thì ba mẹ con cũng dạy con phải làm việc thiện, làm việc tốt. Thì con làm rất là nhiều, nhưng mà tới lớn thì tâm con nó vẫn ích kỷ, vẫn ganh tị, vẫn hơn thua. Thì ý con muốn nói là tốt là từ cái hành động của mình hay là phải từ thật tâm cái lòng của mình nghĩ như vậy. Tại vì tâm con vẫn luôn nghĩ là mình làm cái này tốt để sau này con được một cái gì đó tốt về lại cho con, để benefit con lại. Thì con chỉ thắc mắc là
After lunch, I'm going to request that all the questions has to be yes or no for answers.
Hello, Master. Back in the day, my parents, my mom and dad taught me to do good things. But I'm doing that when I get older. Majority of the time, even though I do good things, but then my mind still stingy and also jealous of other, and also compare good and bad. So calculating. Therefore, so the good things, the good action that I did, actually, I just did that, but then in my mind, I still think that I'm doing this because I'm gonna benefit from it. So I would want to ask Master, is that a good thing?
What can I say? Before I answer you, let me ask 2 questions. Number 1, since when did you start doing bad things? Number 2, who are you jealous of?
dạ con không có làm bad thing, nhưng mà con có bad mind, bad thoughts.
You what?
con có cái suy nghĩ xấu, có nghĩa là con làm một cái gì đó mà con always look for giống như cái good thing gonna happen to my life because I do good things.
That's a bad thing, yeah.
Yeah.
And how long, since when did you start doing bad things?
Dạ, con nghĩ là lúc nào đầu con cũng có bad thoughts, nhưng mà gần đây thì con mới được dạy là con có suy nghĩ xấu thôi, chứ còn trước giờ nó luôn luôn như vậy.
So before you haven't have bad thoughts until you came to the temple and you started having bad thoughts.
Dạ không, con có tư tưởng xấu là từ trước tới giờ nhưng mà không có nhận ra được.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Well, it's hopeless then. Okay. Someone help me out. I can't help this lady here. Anyone? What do you think? That's what happened to smart people. They think too much. What happens to when you go and get an education is that you learn how to calculate, and you're rewarded professionally by how well you calculate. And therefore, worldly people are attached to being discriminating, being calculating. So it's natural for you. Everything you do is always about what's in it for me. Anyone? I mean, that's normal for us. That's how we function. There you go. Now it's catching. It's spreading, isn't it? Huh? Daniel, look at Daniel now. Feel free, folks. This is a temple of free expressions. Yeah. All right. And I want you to know it's not just you but me too. We have to endure what's difficult, what is unpleasant. Okay? So you start first by enduring the leg pains. And you end up like me when you start enduring people that give you a hard time. People, not just you, but everyone, ultimately, there's an ego that calculates. It says, what's in it for me? How beneficial is it for me to do this? That's normal. Okay? Now, don't beat yourself to death. That's a natural evolution. As you improve, you become less and less calculating, less and less discriminating. And believe it or not, in Buddhism we call it wisdom. Because you're calculating because you're too short-sighted. Your thinking is too narrow. The more your mind opens up, the less calculating you become. Oh, there you go. We call it north, east, and west. Dharma. Okay. The east starts, and then the west joins in, and then the east come back to the east, and the west says, "Hey, I want part of this too." Yeah. Okay. Did I answer your question? No? It's not possible to answer her questions. Go ahead, let me have it. See what you did? He was fine. He was fine the last few weeks. You are really old comics. It's too much. Yes, ma'am. 4.
Yeah, thầy, ý của con là nếu như mà mình hướng dẫn mọi người làm good thing á, thì thời gian dài nó có giống con hay không, hay là
No, not at all. Go and translate. Don't make it more difficult.
Master, my intention is that if we wanted to teach people how to do good things in a long longer time, are they all become like me?
No. Maybe yes, yeah. Maybe you all become like her. according to Daniel. I said, oh my God. Okay. First of all, there's some good news and bad news. The good news is that you begin to see how icky you are. It's very difficult to look at yourself and say, oh my God, am I really like that? That's why most people, by the way, most people do not like to do that and do not dare to do that and prefer to avoid looking at themselves because it is very unpleasant. And to them, it's counterproductive. Okay? And so for you to be able to keep on doing it to yourself, it's sort of beating yourself. Okay? It's like flagellation in Catholicism. They take a whip. They very much like what you're doing without a whip. See, now she's your husband will thank us later. Because instead of doing it at home, you do it here. See, now Chung is joining. It's the point being that it's very difficult to look at yourself. And what I'm hearing you the last few months is that you keep on looking at yourself and disapproving yourself. It's like beating yourself, like the Catholics do. They do this. Am I correct? This is what they do, part of they chastise themselves for having bad thoughts, okay? And what you're doing actually hurts a lot more because the physical pain, you can get accustomed to it. But as you improve, you look deeper and deeper, it hurts more, actually. Agree or disagree? No one agrees with me. Okay, never mind. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it makes all of us humble to see how people struggle because, internally at times we find it so hard to hang in there, to keep up with it. Okay? Because it's very hard. It's very trying. Cultivation. This is what makes you special. Cultivation is that we get pushed and pushed. We keep on pushing the envelope so that we are able to escape from our selfishness. The nature of selfishness is that it likes to entrap you. It likes to keep you imprisoned. It doesn't want you to escape. So that's why the more closer you get to the edge, near the exit, the more it hurts. Okay? And so that's why ordinary people, they would not spend a lot of time looking at this. So this is a good thing. So the good news, that's a bad news. The good news is that it's a natural process where eventually you'll be free. And actually, the great news is that right now it's hurting, okay? But once you get out, you feel so much happier than before. Agree and disagree. The rest of you. Once you get out, when you're free from your ego and you get nearer to being free from your ego, the lighter it feels, the happier you become. And when you are out, okay, the further you are away from the wall, the ego that builds around itself, the happier you become. Yes, sir. 2.
Dose. Master, I will have few moments where I feel like, yeah, that's cool. That I'm walking away from my ego, just a few moments, and then the very next day, it comes right back. It's like you throwing a ball at a dog always fetches, comes back to you. No matter what I do, it comes back. I only have just few moments of fleeting,
Yeah.
I'm
sorry, it never happened to me. The rest of you have that experience or not? No? No, have no experience? No? You think you escaped the ego, but you haven't. This is what makes the ego a real genius. Your ego is so powerful that it adapts constantly. This is a secret about your ego. Unless it feels threatened, it's not going to reveal itself. What did you do to him? He was fine this morning. You are really weird. Okay, your turn. I'll do it. You're not going to let him beat you to this? Can we take a very quick vote here? Which one? You want east or west? Which one is better? East or west? East or west? 1 or 2? Yeah. Okay, so never mind. Moving on, okay? No, you missed out on the best show on earth. Okay. Fearlessness. That's what differentiates Buddhas from all of us. They are fearless. Nothing can frighten them. Nothing can make them cry. Nothing can make them back down. No amount of difficulties can make them change their mind. No matter how much hardship they have to endure, they are fearless. Okay? And in particular, it's interesting here on slide 164, it says they're fearless when speaking Dharma. Isn't it interesting to you? To me, it's so interesting. Why does it mention, why do you need to be fearless when you speak the Dharma? Because when you speak the Dharma, you make a lot of enemies. Your enemies are mobilizing their forces to make sure they don't speak Dharma again. Because Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, when they speak the Dharma, what are they doing? They are revealing the dark side of you, the dark side of the evil. Because if you will, Buddhas are like pure goodness. And in order for pure goodness to exist, you must have pure evil. Okay? Every time Buddhas appear in the world, okay, that's the force of goodness, of pure goodness, being available to our world. Like when Shakyamuni Buddha came to our world, became a Buddha here, okay? That he's created, okay, bastions, places where pure goodness prevail. Okay, you want to go towards goodness, you go near him, you get better and better, more and more protection, more and more support. That's where they all drew. Whereas, at the same time, when that happens, I assure you, the evil side also mobilized, and they did everything possible to counteract the Buddha's influence in all sorts of ways. Physically, psychologically, ghosts and so forth, demons and so forth, okay? And so that's why Buddhas are fearless, but his disciples are not. His disciples can get hurt. You become fearful because you get hurt when you do certain things. Okay? So Buddha's, when he became Shakyamuni Buddha appeared, okay? The demons mobilized their forces so that they're almost there. Okay? Demons are no match for Buddhas, but they're not that far away. What is Vietnamese saying? Buddha said that the demons are so close to me in terms of powers. What it tells me is that the demons are stronger than us. That's why there's this fear in all of us who are not Buddhas. Do you believe or not? Does it make sense to you or not? You won't become fearful because someone is stronger than you and can hurt you. Bottom line. They instill fear in us because we can hurt them. Okay? So that's why when they misbehave, you beat them up, then they become fearful, they behave. That's all. And it will come in point in time where they're so strong we can't beat them up anymore. That's when we become fearful. That's life. Okay? And so this path here is building up your fearlessness so that you become less and less fearful until you have zero fear anymore. That's when you become a Buddha. So what does it take to be fearless? Yes, sir. No. What does it take to become fearless? What does it take? Yes, 6.
Thank you, Master. Your samadhi level.
What?
Your samadhi level.
Samadhi level? But I don't have it right now. What does it take? I don't have samadhi right now, so how do I get there? What? Cultivation. What kind of cultivation? Don't stop beating around the bush.
Endure every suffering.
Getting close. Anyone else? How do you come fearless? Yes, 7.
I think it's egoless.
Good point, okay? But it's more practical than that. Egoless is too broad, okay? Anyone else? How do you become fearless? Yes, sir, 7.
Thank you, Master. The less you want things, the less fear you have.
No, that's too philosophical. I don't buy that. I want more things. Anyone? How do you become less fearful? Yes, Drexel.
Hello, Master. It's the repetitive pain.
What?
Repetitive pain that caused from...
Repent the pain?
No, repetitive. Repeating
Or
pains.
repetitive pain?
Yes. That caused from...
Yes, Way Mountain.
Master, is that practice bestowing,
You happy?
giving a fearlessness?
Sorry, go ahead. How do you become fearless?
Master, is that by practice giving fearlessness first?
What?
Help calm people. Practice giving fearlessness.
Practice
calming
giving
people.
fearlessness. That's correct. Okay, but that's only when you do that. People will come and help you when you're fearful. Okay, so that helps. But what's the direct causation for becoming less fearful? It's fantastic, folks. Yes, 5.
Not afraid of taking loss.
Not afraid taking loss. You're theoretical. Yes, Way Mountain.
Master, is it you just need to be stronger than your opponent?
And how do you become stronger? There you go. How do you become stronger? Huh? Anyone else? I want you to know, this weekend, I thought of one thing. I came up with an idea. I said, how come most adults are so weak? Most people are so weak. It's because when they're younger, no one trained them to become tougher. Okay? So my idea is in the future, we will have summer camps or winter camps of kids. We call it Apollo Club and tiny Apollo clubs, where we bring your kids in for a week or two, okay? Where we spend time with them to make them tougher. That's it. The only objective is making them tougher, unlike their parents. Tougher than parents. Would you like that? Yeah. I have a lot of ideas, but never could do anything about them. Yes, JMT. How do you become fearless?
Did I become a good person?
A better person?
Yeah.
2 Chinese. Anyone else? Yes. 5 ladies first.
You have failed many times, and you know.
Fail many times. I'm not afraid to fail anymore. Yes, that helps. Yes, sir. 2.
I can only come from the martial arts perspective.
Yeah?
And fearlessness in combat is not afraid to lose and not caring about winning either.
No wonder you're not normal anymore. Yes, Way Mountain.
Emitofuo, Master. Facing
Hola.
our own... Hola, Master. Facing our own difficulties, fight against them.
Facing our difficulties. Okay. I buy that. I'm be nice to her today. Anyone else? You give up? Jungin Sunim, how do you become fearless? She said, I don't know. What's the answer?
Sit longer.
Sit down. That's a new line. I didn't expect that. Okay. Screamer. 4.
Maybe become less attached.
Become less attached. That helps. Anyone else? Who's afraid? Yes, JMT.
Is that reduce greedy, stupidity, and what's that?
Two Chinese. Okay. Second time. Anyone else? Taiwan people? You want to try? The two Taiwan people here? No? Okay. It has. Oh, yes, you too.
Hi, Master. We have several comments. First one is fearless giving. Second one is Tejapado says, seeing others being fearless, power of the Sangha. Now Diego says, Emitofuo Master, by no attachment. You are afraid. You are afraid because you think you have something to lose. By no attachment, no fear. And
yes, continue.
And then the last comment, her name is in Chinese. I think it's Apple. Not harming.
No harming. Oh, very good. All those work, except something I haven't told you yet. Okay? You learned your lessons very well. I'm impressed. You pick up all the aspects of fearlessness. There's one thing I haven't taught you yet about fearlessness. I didn't dare teach you until today. Okay, to have two screamers. So now I feel liberated. I'm no longer scared to tell you the truth. Okay? Here's what happened. All the previous answers worked. They helped towards you becoming less fearful. That's true. There's one fundamental thing here, is that you're fearful because the ego jumps in. Okay? And so the quick answer is if you have wisdom, you extinguish the ego, there's no fear. But it doesn't work like that for you because you have no wisdom yet. So how do you become less fearful? By? What? What does it mean? No, you're not enlightened. How you become less fearful? It's a physical thing, folks. It's a physical and psychological thing. That is, you endure more suffering. That's all it takes. The ego says, I can do it. I've seen this before. So, when you are suffering, ordinary people reaction is that they back off. They say, they avoid suffering. Agree? You train to avoid suffering. This is why you're so weak. When you give me your boys and girls, and you give me them for a week, I will make them suffer more and more and more. That's how they become tougher, folks. I figured it out last week. Because look at my Sangha, they're so fearful. They know too much. It's just like someone gave the example of martial arts and what is it they call it? Fighting, the Cajun of Cage. What's it called? Mixed martial arts. Thank you very much. Okay? No holds barred. And you can do anything until you kill that person. And they become tougher and tougher and tougher. Think about it in terms of training your children. Don't be afraid, or your wives. Don't be afraid to let them suffer. Okay? Don't be afraid yourself to suffer, because every time you suffer and you don't give up, you become stronger. Boys and girls, if you lose me next year or very soon before we can implement the classes for your children, for the young generation, that's a secret to making them stronger, by making them suffer incrementally. Because parents are too soft nowadays. As a result, you are so soft. You're afraid to suffer. You soon talk. Okay? My generation, we have no choice. Yes, Way Mountain.
Master, I have a question. If we make our children become tougher, then later on they don't listen to us, what to do?
It forces you to be tougher than them. So we have a class for your children, have a class for you. Okay, anyone else? God, these people, you cover all the bases. Next, 165. Buddhas also have 18 uncommon or unshared dharmas that only Buddhas have, and no Buddhas, no non-Buddhas have at all. Okay? So what are they? There are 18 of them. It's too many to go through. But however, if you have time, you might want to go through them, because it's fascinating about the end result of our journey. What you're going through right now, I know it's hard. I know it's challenging quite often. It makes you cry sometimes. You will not believe it. When on my prior life, I was often cried myself to sleep at night. Why is it so hard? I want my mama. Okay? So, it's fascinating, because once you go through this process of training here, devised by the Buddha's disciples, says that Buddhas do not commit offenses with their body. First, meaning that we commit offenses. This body here, we commit offenses with it. Whereas Buddhas, they don't commit offenses. Shakyamuni Buddha never committed offenses with his body. Number two, they would not commit offenses with the mouth. The Chinese says, the body has no loss, the mouth has no loss, the mind has no loss. Loss here is a concept that when you commit an offense, you are experiencing a loss. Isn't that interesting? For some of you, losses only means you're losing on your cryptocurrencies. But here in the Buddha, the real losses are losses with the body, with the mouth, and with the mind. That's highest level wisdom, by the way. If you have true wisdom, you will not experience any loss with your body, with your mouth, with your mind. How about that? You're not impressed? Okay, it's okay. And there are 18 of them. If you're curious, you can go to the list yourself, if you wish. All right? That's too much. Too many details. Yes, ma'am. 4.
Master, why am I screaming?
Why are you screaming? I have no idea, dear. I explained it to you. Did we talk about it like yesterday, didn't we? Something about An M ghost?
No.
See, did you hear that? Did you hear that? She said no. She was here. When we talk about it, anyone help me out? We talked about when? Yesterday or this morning? Last night, right? You showed up last night, yes?
Yes.
And then you screamed.
Yes.
And that's how I call you screamer.
Yes.
And that's when I explained to people, but I didn't tell her directly. And it totally escaped her.
Oh.
Why is that? The manic ghost? You see that? Isn't it interesting? Block her ear. Pluck her ears. I couldn't even hear.
I went home and rewatched the video. I didn't catch that either.
You didn't catch it? Second time? Isn't it fascinating? I didn't look at her and I said, you are manic and so forth. I thought, man, but she totally, it went over her head completely.
Master, it was this morning, not yesterday.
Were you here this morning?
No. Can you repeat what you said this morning?
No. No way. I went out on a limb already. I ain't going to do it twice. That's called stupidity. Did you this morning or yesterday? This morning? There's a collusion here. I don't believe them. In general, okay, I don't think your husband wants to be here. He would change his opinion. That's a husband, right? Plug his ears. It's too soon to tell them these things. Maybe that's why I talked about it this morning instead of with them behind their back, more or less. But basically, you're not the only one. Like Daniel is the same thing, or same thing, 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 same thing. Most of us are not normal. And that's the good news about it. So it's safe to talk about it among ourselves. It's not meant for public consumption. It's basically, there's a manic ghost that pulls your strings and makes you feel like it's a lot more suffering than it really is. Okay, and that's why you react to that. It's mental. In other words, you're not normal. Like the rest of us. I'm a lot worse than you. So I speak from experience. That with cultivation, we control them. They can no longer influence us. That's why I said this morning, we can, we have the option, write it out, because they get you excited, they eventually have to go down to normal state again. Or you beat them up, scare them away, so they can't harass you. So, for example, we are entitled to do that. Okay, you out there in the public space, we cannot touch you because it's none of our business. But when you hear and you begin to distract people, then we said, it's not your fault. We won't beat you up physically, but we are entitled to beat up your ghost spiritually for them to behave. Okay? That's too much for you. Give it time. Give it more time. Don't worry. We'll get better. It's a good thing. Don't worry about it. Yes, Wei Mao.
Master, with no loss of the body, the mind, and the mouth, is that self-mastery?
Come again?
With the previous slide about no loss of the mind, mouth, and body, is that is that self-mastery?
Yeah, that's a form of self-mastery. But the concept here is that the concept is very, very interesting. It says here that if you have real wisdom, you will never do things to experience loss through your body, through your mouth, through your mind. That's an incredible state if you think about it. So, for example, loss through the body. Okay, ever seen a fat Buddha? Never.
Maitreya Buddha?
Maitreya is not a Buddha. I'm ready for you. See, this guy knows Buddhism. Yeah. South Carolina, I was ready for you. What about mouth? Buddhas never swear. Never. Mind? Buddhas never have an evil thought. A bad thought. Never. Because if you have a bad thought in here, no one knows, but your mind is suffering. Isn't it interesting? So that's why these 18 unshared dharmas or 18 virtues are the things that are the manifestation of perfect, virtuous conduct, if you will. So the standards are so high in Buddhism. No excuses. Buddha says, you are supposed to be like me. How come you're not? He's not saying it's only for Vietnam people or for Mexico people. China? No, it's for everyone. All of you can be like me. Why aren't you? Why do you set your sights so low? It's what fascinates me. All right? Does it help? Okay, and if you have time, go through into the things. So number 4, for example, is kind of interesting. Number 4 is that he sees everyone equally. Men is no different from women. And it's funny, let me tell you, it's funny that in our Sangha, monks walk before nuns. So even though he sees men and women are the same, but he teaches us it's okay for us to discriminate. Because that's all you can take. That's all the monk can take. Otherwise, we have no monks left. If we let the women walk in front of the monks will leave us. You see, to me, it's wisdom too. Somehow the women can take it, but the man cannot take it. Okay, continuing, 166. Though having closed all doors of the evil destinies, they nevertheless took rebirth in the 5 paths.
关闭一切诸恶趣门，而生五道，一现其身。
ChatGPT, just last night I was preparing for this, late at night. It's been too busy. So I knew it. Something is missing. The ChatGPT translation and based on my Chinese disciples' help as well, the expert, they translate it as lower destinies. But actually, chu is not lower, it's evil destinies. You see? This is where those of you who work at ChatGPT, you need to train your model a little bit better. No cheap shots at anyone. Okay, and so having closed all doors to the evil destinies. Okay, remember this is not Buddhas but the Bodhisattvas. Bodhisattvas are a special breed, especially these Mahasattvas. They will never ever fall to evil destinies again. Okay, evil destinies refer to the hells, animal realms, and the ghost realm. All right? What does it mean, closed all doors? Anyone? Sangwuk Sunim, what does it mean, closed all doors? I'm working, I'm at work. Can you give me a break?
They don't make offenses.
Correct. They would not create any karmas that would send them to the hells, animal realms, or the ghost realms. Is that clear? So what are these karmas? I have new people here, so I need to go back to basics. What are the karmas, new people, that will bring you, send you to the hells, hungry ghosts, and the animal realm? Okay, more specifically, what are they? What kind of offenses would send you? This is based on the scriptures, okay? You can read it anywhere, especially if you're Asian literature and so forth. You can look it up very quickly. ChatGPT or whatever your dictionary is going to tell you, okay? What are the three evil destinies? That are the evil things that you do that will send you to these very bad places where you will suffer so much more than you're suffering right now. You think you're suffering right now? You ain't seen nothing yet until you go to these three evil destinies. What are the kinds of karma you create in order for you to take a detour to these three evil destinies? This is from the Chinese text. Master Shira explains the same exact thing too. Yes, Wei Mao. You should know this. You're a Buddhist, you should know this. Yes?
Hi, Master. Is it related to the 5 precepts?
No. Next. Anyone else? Mexico. I knew it already. That woman here always has an opinion.
Could be the 3 kind of karma: mind karmas, speaking karmas, and body karmas.
Close, but no cigars. Anyone else? Not bad. Anyone else? Yes. Female.
Thank you, Master. Is slander Buddha and destroy Sangha. And one more, I don't remember.
That's only 2.
Yeah, one more.
No. Yes. 5.
It's greed, anger, and stupidity.
Exactly. The reason we have the 3 evil destinies in our world is because we have 3 poisons. Our mind is full of the 3 poisons of greed, anger, stupidity. That's why those three evil destinies exist in our world. Compared to the Western bliss pure land, there's no evil destinies, no hell, no animals there except for birds, and no ghosts. The birds are actually not real birds, by the way, mind you. Don't ever sneer. See, even Amitabha Buddha cannot prevent the animal realm. No, it's a make-believe bird, actually synthetic birds. Okay, so the 3 poisons: greed, anger, stupidity. More specifically, which one sends you to which? This is from Chinese texts. You can look it up in Chinese very quickly. But no, China is looking it up. Go ahead, Chinese people from K-land. Yeah, go ahead. 5. Quickly.
It's stupidity is the animal realm. Anger is the no, it's the
pressure.
Anger is the
careful. It's only there's only 2 left. 50%.
Hell. And then what's the other one? Greed, anger. Greed is hungry ghost. Thank you, all my friends.
It takes like 3 people. See, I know this. There's a catch here. That's something that bothered me too when I read it. When I heard Master Shinwa, I said, say what? I disagree with him. And then I checked the scriptures later. Actually, it came from the scriptures. It's not his stuff. Clearly, stupidity, you commit stupid karmas, you fall to the animal realms. And Master Shinwa says, look at how stupid animals look. Okay? Be as may. We're not going to go into that area, okay? Because it's called animal abuse. We're going to have trouble with animal society or protection of animals or whatever. Okay. What bothered me is that Master Shinwa said, if you are greedy, you fall to the hells. I said, say what? It's illogical. But then later, I read the same exact thing. That's where he picked it up from. If you're greedy, you fall to the hells. And when you're angry, you fall to hungry ghosts. Buddha's teaching. Who am I to disagree? Isn't that interesting? So the 3 poisons, so that means in the Western bliss pure land, we're free. All living beings over there are free from greed, anger, stupidity. But here, our lives are rife with greed, anger, stupidity. That's why the 3 evil destinies are always around. They abound in inhabitants. All right? Okay, so what does it mean, close all doors? Meaning they would not commit offenses. They are free from greed, anger, stupidity. Is it clear? Does it help? We're not like them. We still have seeds of anger, seeds of greed, seeds of stupidity. These Mahasattvas don't have such behaviors anymore. Yes, ma'am. 5.
I just saw the Chinese and curious about it says the bodhisattvas see the source of the middle way, so they can close all the doors. So what is the source of the middle way?
I hate it. Don't you hate it when the Chinese people read your commentary and you don't understand what they're talking about? God. I read it too, and I couldn't quite figure it out. They see, it says the Bodhisattvas see the source of the middle way. And therefore, they can close all the things, all the doors, okay? And this is so Chinese in terms of explanations, okay? That's why I explained it for you in terms of karmas, okay? Ultimately, whatever they mean, thank you, see you next time. Ultimately, whatever they mean in Chinese is see the source of the middle way, okay? It ultimately leads to the fact that they are no longer creating these types of seeds of anger, stupidity, and greed. That's all. Okay? And I don't necessarily understand. I don't dare criticize it because I don't understand what is the source of the middle way. That is unclear to me. Okay? But if Master Chucha says so, it must be so. His wisdom is incredible. Okay? He knows so much. There's no principle that Master Chucha does not understand. Let me put it that way for you. Okay? So who am I to disagree with him? All right, next. He took rebirth. Wow, she lasted a long time today, huh? Usually, she'd leave in about 20 minutes. Consistently. When the husband, 20 minutes. By herself, 30 minutes. Today is almost an hour and a half. And that's what you need to understand. Okay? Your improvement is in how more patient you become to what's uncomfortable. If it's comfortable, it's nothing to talk about. It's only when it's not comfortable, how long can you endure it? That's wisdom. Our environment is not meant for you to be comfortable. Okay? It's by being uncomfortable, that's when you open your wisdom. You be uncomfortable and you don't run away, that's when you open your wisdom. You continue, you fight and you endure. That's what it takes. If you do that, all of you will progress. You know, it's too bad because that's why I picked up from the Wei Yang training in Master YongHua. And you know, it turns out my peers, when we're so scared about how we're going to support ourselves, and people come in and say, you know, it hurts so much. Why do you make me suffer? This is not right. The human body is not designed to cross our legs like that. And my peers backed off. They said, you know, you're right. We should not scare you away. But I'm different because I only have like 3 spots in the living room. So if too many people stick around, there's no space left for the good ones. So anyway, going back to slide 167, took rebirth in the 5 paths. Okay? And 5 paths is the 3 evil paths plus the human realm and the God's realm. Okay? I'm sorry, with all due respect to the Catholics and Christians, okay? We, in Buddhism, we learn a lot about the heavenly realms, okay? The God's realms, okay? So that's why we recognize the seats for you to get up there. So you want to go in the God's realm, okay? We have a lot of ways. besides giving away your family fortune to build a temple, build a church. Okay? Costs a lot less with Buddhism. Anyway, now took rebirth in the 5 paths. Okay, the Mahasattvas here, they no longer create the seeds for them to recycle back in real reincarnation. However, it doesn't mean they cannot go there. They choose to go there, even though they're not creating seeds for them to go there anymore. That's what makes them different from us. They go there by choice. We, in contrast, revolve in a real reincarnation because we have no control over where we go after we die. These Mahasattvas, they said, after this, I want to come back to go forth and continue my work with the screamers. Things like that. Okay? And so, unlike us, the Mahasattvas have total control over the rebirths. After they die, they can go anywhere they want, especially these Mahasattvas. Anywhere in the universe. Anywhere at all. Unlike us, who just wish and so desperate to go to the Pure Land, they can go anywhere. Isn't that cool? Never mind. Okay, and they need to go to the 5 paths, the 5 paths of where living beings revolve in order to have a chance to help them. Okay, they personally engage and help. They don't simply do online help. Okay, they personally come to living beings to help them. Everywhere, wherever living beings are ready to be helped, they show up. All right? 168. There were like great physician kings who skillfully prescribed medicine appropriate to a myriad ailments, urging it to be taken.
为大医王，善疗众病，因病与药，令得服行。
Okay, 169. Here, the Buddha used an analogy. He says, these Mahasattvas, even though they're not Buddhas yet, they're very close to being a Buddha, but they are already at the level of great physician kings, meaning there's nothing they cannot heal. Nothing. You have any ailments, any of these Mahasattvas can help you heal, except for a few things. But screamers, easy. Okay? And the great physician king. Not so easy after all here. Go for us. You sleep or what? Beat them both. Beat them up. Okay. They can skillfully describe medicine. All your suffering. We're not talking about just physical or mental illness. Any sort of suffering you have is considered a disease to them. Okay? Disease is the common name in Buddhism for, from my perspective, for suffering. People of the world, when they are sick, they suffer so much. Yeah? They can't sleep, they can't eat, they worry, they're worried sick. Okay? And so that's why the Buddhas have to appear in the world to heal those ailments. How else can he inspire them to have faith unless he demonstrates the ability to help people heal? And so he does it by skillfully prescribing medicine appropriate to a myriad of ailments. And this is the path of the training for the Mahasattvas. We send them out and we help them to deal with cancer, help them deal with all sorts of ailments, physical and mental, so that eventually then they get to the level of Mahasattva, they become like great physician kings. They have seen them all, folks. So don't think it's like such a simple thing where how long you need? 10 years of training? Is that enough? Or what is it? Physicians, after they finish medical school, they have 3 years of internship or something? Huh? Residency? Thank you very much. 3 years of residency, and then now they are considered great physician kings? For us, the Mahasattvas have to go through countless lifetimes as a Mahasattva and go everywhere and help all sorts of living beings. That's how they become acquainted with all sorts of ailments. Although some are more difficult than others. Okay? And so whatever ailments you have, they have the fix for it. And not only do they know the way to fix it, okay? And myriads of ailments, but they also have the wisdom to encourage us, to urge us to take the medicine. Okay? Because ultimately, the transformation has to be through the Mahasattvas convincing you to take the medication. If you're not taking it, then the help is not complete. Just because you know how to fix it, but you're not willing to take the medication, then the medication is helpless. It's useless. All right? So that's why they are. Okay. We stop here today. Next time we pick it up from 170. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice afternoon.